What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. So,
Justin, we got to get some better shots of me for that intro. I'm in my pajamas for both of those.
I'm sorry. Which one are you? Which one are you talking to?
Whichever Justin wants to answer.
Talking to old washed up Justin.
We're just trying to fill in the
HP
blanks.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome to Sunday Night Topics. We're live here tonight. We've got Justin McPadden.
Wait, I don't have a. Yeah, we don't even have a tag on there. Anyways, we should just keep it like open and like let's just conversate.
Yes, it makes it so much more. I don't know. I'm way more comfortable that way.
So let's just give like full transparency here.
Uh-oh.
We don't have a topic. We were at Justin's house today. He had a beautiful. I'm just giving him a little intro. Hold on.
All right.
Had a birthday party for his daughter, Jalen. We were all there. It was really fun. And it was a packed day of friends and family. And we didn't really dig into any topics. So if anybody out there that's watching has a topic, has something on their heart, something affecting their recovery, please put your questions in the comments so we can use those as our topic for tonight.
Yeah.
And Kelly is going to start us off with the clarity statement.
I am. All right. The Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family.
Thank you, Kelly. We appreciate you. Justin, would you like to say hello to some people?
I will. I do. Justin and Justin. It sounds like some kind of law.
McPadden
I'm tripped out that it isn't echoing. It's not even echoing. It's like, all right. I'm having way too much fun.
Wait. I wish I could find myself. Maybe if I was, let me do this. Let me do this real quick. There we go. Now I can just be like, wait, let's see. All right, there we go. And I'm going to wait. Oh. I'm being a Riri. I'm sorry.
So if you guys are just tuning in, please don't forget to share the feed. You don't know who this could possibly help. And please chime in the comments and let us know you're here so we can give you a shout out. And Justin's going to read a couple right now.
Yes, thanks, Caesar. Sorry, I got a little carried away with that. All right. So we got Katie. Good to see you here tonight. Thank you for the share. And if you guys are just jumping on, please share this live feed. You never know who this might help tonight, even with or without a topic. You know what I mean? We got Brittany Lynn. Good to see you here. We got Alicia. Hey, Hope Shot. Happy to be here tonight. Good to see you. We got Kimberly. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone had a great week. Love watching Hope Shot. Thank you so much. It has been a fun-filled weekend. Busy yesterday. I got the in-laws in town. So we got Becky on here. Hey, Hope Shot family. I hope everyone is okay. Let's see. Christina, good to see you, fam. We got Caitlin. Good to see you here. Oh, we got Janelle. Sorry.
It's okay to not be okay.
I know. It's okay. We got Scott. Just want to stop in and say what's up to the Hope Shot people. I love y'all. I'm still going strong, but I love everything y'all are doing. That's all. I've been busy. I haven't been able to get on, but I miss you. Love y'all. Love you too, Scott, man. Glad you're doing good, man. Busy is good as well. Let's see. Brittany, why do I see two of Justin on my screen? Two of Justin is just too much. You know what I mean? One is too much, but two. Oh, there he is. It's my alter ego, you know? Let's see. We got Ito, man. Good to see you, man. What's up, family? It's always nice to see you and your wife, Justin. Y'all encourage me. Keep up the good work. It's good to see you too, man.
Yeah, I know it's good to see us too, right? Everybody else besides Justin and his wife. Hi.
We went to his thing because she's not on here. We went to his thing. He came down this weekend. Friday, we went there. Yeah. So maybe
I'd be tired.
I know.
No, excuses. It's cool.
No, but I really want to go. I really want to make it up there. I think I always remember the last minute, and then it'll be like 10 minutes into it, and we're like, oh, that happened tonight.
What's up, Reagan? What's up, Kimberly? Thank you for sharing. We got Jamie. She shared as well. Thank you so much. We got Maria Lopez. Hello. Good to be here. We got Jess from Minnesota. What's up? And then we got Heather. Hello, Heather. Hello, Perkins. Thank you for the share. Thank you for the share. I'm just going to run through them real quick. We got Katie says, my son is 25 and is anti-drugs because he has me as a mother. And I was always, don't be like me. Addiction sucks, but he drinks. He feels like they are two different things. I need help explaining to him alcohol is also a drug. Help. You guys do that.
Well, I guess first off, I would say it would depend if he has a problem with alcohol or not, because there's a lot of people that I know that can drink safely, and
Right.
they're not one of us. They don't have a problem. They can go have a couple beers after work and show up to work the next day and not burn their lifestyle. I am not that person. So in my life, I would explain it like I explain it to anybody, is I can't put anything, mind or mood altering in my system, because when I do, it changes who I am. So for example, every time I ever relapsed on drugs when I got out of a rehab, it started out with a drink, because I'm strong in my convictions until I lower my inhibitions by putting some alcohol in my
Ooh.
system.
That's like a song lyric. What you just did there?
Strong in my convictions until I lower my
inhibitions.
Yes.
We're gonna make that into like a song or a poem or something.
But honestly, like, I don't have intentions of going and shooting dope until I start drinking, and the drinking doesn't get me quite where I want to go, and I want to take it to the next level.
She
and
says he has a big problem, Caesar, FYI.
Well, so if he does have a big problem, then to me, whatever is causing chaos in my life is what I have to focus on. So for me, it was drugs and alcohol. So if there was no drugs in my story at all, alcohol would have still been a major issue in my life. I've got 5 DUIs.
Alcohol is always that baseline. It's like the foundation. Like, it's the thing I always revert back to. And that's what leads me back into the mess most of the time.
Well, because it's the most socially acceptable, legal thing that you can do. And it's everywhere. It's accessible to everyone, everywhere, every sporting event. And yeah, it's hard for some people to be able to say they have a problem with alcohol, because I've got somebody that I work with that it took a long time for him to look at alcohol as the problem, because he thinks that all fun revolves around alcohol. Like, how do you have fun without it? How do you do this? All I do is I go to bars, and I had to explain to him, there is a life without alcohol, and it's a really good life. And I remember where I went the night before. I can actually remember the concerts that I go to now. And I don't dread picking my phone up when I wake up in the morning, because I used to dread that. I'd pick it up and there'd be like 50
I couldn't read anything that I did the night before. Oof. Whoa. Still gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It's crazy that that's the mentality now. It's like, and people are fearful to get sober because of those things. Like, I was like, dude, it's the end of fun. It's the end of fun. Like, listen, I even thought Tiffany was going to leave me because I was freaking changing what I was doing. And it puts like, I don't know, like, it doesn't make our life the same anymore. You know what I mean? Like, our life is going to be different because I have to remove this stuff that I have a problem with. But what does that look like for all my other relationships that I have? Because they all involve drinking. You know what I mean?
Dude, my dad was a bar owner. I grew up wanting to be a bar owner. I owned bars when I got older. My entire life revolved around alcohol. And it was frightening to think of a life without it. But eventually I got to a point where, it's not an option anymore. I have to do something about this. I'm blacking out every time that I drink. I can't drive anymore. I had lost my license. It was supposed to be permanently revoked, but I did find a way to get it back. But, my life was unmanageable, and I was a slave to alcohol. The first thing I would do when I wake up was start planning my day around how I was going to go to the bar or what time I was going to go to the bar. And it was the exact same thing as my drug addiction, except it's socially acceptable. So I can go sit in a bar with a bunch of other alcoholics legally and I don't feel that weird or out of place. You know, it's a tough one.
It's
Yeah.
tough. And Katie, as a mom, I know how hard that has to be, because as parents, as moms specifically, we want to rescue our children, right? So I would also just encourage you to remember that there are resources like Al-Anon available, and don't give so much of yourself that it's hindering your own recovery. I know that's difficult. I just have to put that out there too.
You know, you were just saying that, like, the blackout drinking, and I was talking to somebody the other day that was talking about it's not even blackout drinking anymore because I drink all the time. Like, I haven't blackout drank in a long time because my body, it's like you become susceptible to, like, you've got a tolerance now.
It's reverse tolerance.
Yeah.
My drinking career, where I used to be the guy in the bar that could drink more than anybody.
Yep.
Then I
That
start
too.
blacking out after 2 or 3 drinks.
Yeah.
But I also come to find out when I first got sober, my liver was highly damaged.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you don't think about things like that when you're just having a good time. But between the IV drugs and the massive amounts of alcohol that I drank, my liver enzymes were off the charts. And if I hadn't stopped when I stopped, I'd probably be dead. You know, one of the many ways that I could have died in this thing.
It's a silent killer.
I think to address her directly, I wasn't going to hear anything that my mom had to say.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there. My mom
True.
talked till she was blue in the face. I think the only thing you could do is bring in somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully he'd be willing to talk to somebody that's been where he is and found their way out, and he can have a nice conversation and realize that not drinking is not the death of all fun.
It's going to take an objective perspective. And there's a lot of that sober, curious culture out there now too, that I've been seeing a lot, like on social media. That wasn't out there when I mean, it might have been, but there's like all kinds of like cool, sober, curious movements and stuff. So I'm hoping we're heading in the right direction for, you know, everyone not to think that the only way to have fun is with a social lubricant like alcohol.
I don't know. I think that a lot more, I don't know, this is just my seeing, but there's a lot different kind of drugs now. But I feel like a lot of people are more steering away from it, and a lot of younger kids have a better head on their shoulders. I don't know if it's because of the technology.
Opioid epidemic, everybody's dying, man. So they're growing up with, they're the children of the generation that's literally dying off one by one from the opioid epidemic. It's scary right now.
Janelle.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure you can hear you, you know?
No. I was waiting because Kelly hit on something. My children are both almost grown. I have a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. And I remember looking at them and going, oh my God, which one's going to be the addict? You know, like it scared me to death because I come from a long line of alcoholics and drug addicts. But thankfully, at least up to this point in their lives, I haven't had to worry about them having a problem. I've always been very open with them about my own recovery, which has helped them to be open with me when they have experimented here and there.
Yep.
You know, I have been very careful not to be judgy with them and to be supportive of them, not supportive that they were experimenting or anything like that, but letting them know like, hey, you know, if you start to notice it's a problem, you can come talk to me. But I also am a recovering codependent and have spent many, many years trying to fix family members, loved ones, friends. I made a career out of it. You know, and it has gotten to points in my life where I've had to take a step back and go to Al-Anon and Nar-Anon and CODA meetings just so I can keep myself in check, because my sanity and my recovery was at stake because I was so enmeshed in the other people's issues and their use. And there was no magical phrase or magical hug that could have stopped them from using. Same as, you know, they were hitting on it earlier. My mom was begging me to stop being an asshole. I could not do that. As much as I love my mother and I respected her, I made those decisions and I wasn't done until I was done. there's, you know, we can support and we can say those magical things because that addict, that alcoholic's going to remember them later, but we can't live our lives all 100% all day, every day, just focused on that one person and their problem. We're going to make ourselves crazy.
Oh yeah. Just like anything else, you know, obsessing over it, you know, and it's exactly with anything you could obsess over, even trying to help somebody.
Hey, can I throw up another comment real quick?
You do whatever you want, Caesar.
All right. I mean, there's a couple good ones we can talk about, but I like this one. Michael says, I got a topic. How important is honesty when trying to get and stay clean? So for me, it was like the most important thing, but it was being honest with myself.
Yeah, that.
Honest with myself that I was screwed, that I had no way out of this thing, that I was completely a slave to drugs and alcohol. Once I believed that statement, then I could actually receive help. All the years that I spent in meetings, you know, raising my hand and saying, my name's Caesar, I'm an addict, or my name's Caesar, I'm an alcoholic. I don't think I ever believed it in my heart that I was the textbook definition of this hopeless, you know, lost cause but that's what I was. So I think honesty is extremely important. And in the 12 steps, that's the principle behind the first step. Because unless you're honest with yourself about your situation, you know, if you've still got ideas of how I can drink or drug in the future, or I can control it, or any of those things, if you're not being fully honest with yourself about how screwed your situation really is, you probably won't want to do what it takes to take the next steps in recovery to be able to stay and have that long-term recovery. I mean, that's my opinion, but I've seen it over and over again where it's, you know, hey, you know, I kind of have a problem, but, you know, I'm court ordered to this, so I'm going to half-ass it a little bit, and I'm just going to stick around for a little while, and then I'll go back to drinking. Then they go back to, well, I can just, you know, I can drink on the weekends, and then they come back and eat again, and they're like, oh shit, well, guess what happened? Apparently I can't drink. And, you know, there's some soul searching that has to be done, but the honesty is not cash register honesty with other people. I think the first step is that it's internal, that you're being honest with yourself about, you know, can I drink or use drugs safely? If I look back at my track record, do I have a track record of being successful at this? Well, if you're on the Hope Shot and you're making this comment, you probably don't have a track record of being super successful with this. Be honest with yourself about that, digest that, and then make the decision to do something about it. But if you don't believe you have a problem, you're probably not going to do anything about it.
Me.
Yay,
I love that comment. That's one thing I see so much, is that people hear that we have to be honest. So then they just want to like tell everything to everybody, and they feel everybody needs to know every little piece. And sometimes that's more damaging. Like they might feel like they have to tell their boss, and they have to tell, you know, their mom and their dad, and the guy that they yelled at 12 years ago, they have to call them immediately and tell them, hey, I'm trying this recovery thing. Or they talk about their trauma too early, which for a lot of us is re-traumatizing and puts us at risk. So I'm really glad that came up, because it really is more important, like Caesar said, that we're honest with ourselves and with our support system first before anything else. But we don't have to put up billboards saying, hey, I got a drug problem, you know, or anything like that.
Yeah. And, you know, it's one thing is like, you have to come to this realization, and like, you have to have experience. So I've had a lot of lessons, you know, I've had a lot of trial and errors. Like I was like, oh, I can use successfully. Oh, I'll stop this and do this, and then I'll do that, and then flip this and whatever. And and like I had to really, really, really dig down and get totally honest. That means 100% no faking myself out that like maybe, just maybe I could have one drink or one of anything. To be honest with you, I can't even have one chicken leg at dinner. You know what I mean? Like, and that's facts right there. One spoon of ice cream. I'm telling you, man, it is with everything in my life. You know, yes, and it's crazy. So the drugs to feel good is definitely gonna throw me off. That stuff, anything that make me have that feeling, you know, I want more of it. I want more of it. I want lots of it, and that's where I have to like honestly tell myself I need to like really dig down and try to fight this thing and moderate myself. Like I have to moderate myself with food right now. And like, because I was getting out of control, I was miserable, like literally. And like, I don't know what portion control is. That's with drugs and alcohol too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. Like,
wait, what is the proper portion of drugs?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't even know.
Nobody ever filled me in on that. Is it a little?
It's not
more.
What I was doing. I'll tell
It's
you
always
that.
more.
Yeah,
it's just more. That's
more.
it. More.
That seems correct.
That's the correct portion, sir.
Yeah, you got to count carbs and calories and stuff with drugs. You know what I mean?
Well, grams and ounces. It's portions.
It's
you
portion
know.
control.
Yeah.
What the hell? I try to make things like make sense to me sometimes, you know, like especially the things I live, the lived experience. That's all we have, man. You know, the lived experience that I have is how I like to put things into place, you know, and that's something that comes to mind is like, but yeah, you know, and I remember when I was trying to get clean and I told myself, I was like, I can't have a beer with my boys ever if I do this recovery stuff. And it was like, bro, you never had one beer with your boys anyways. That's some honest shit right there. You know what I mean?
That's true. So I asked I remember this so vividly. I was having a conversation with my sponsor, and I admitted I was an alcoholic. You know, were reading out of a book, and I saw myself on the pages of the book, and I'm like, shit, you know, like I thought I just had a drug problem. But then we're reading this book, and I'm like, they're describing me in this thing. And then it all kind of hit me at once. And my mind went to next year, 10 years, 20 years. I was like, never, never, never. So how do you watch football? What do you do? Like, how do you spend your time? What do you do when you go out on a boat? Just actually fish? Like, what do y'all do? I don't get it.
You actually fish.
I started freaking out internally. And then I'm still in rehab. And then I go on a pass and I drive past like the bars that I used to go to on my way to Tampa on my pass, and I'm looking at all these people sitting out there, and I'm going, never? That looks so fun. Never. It hadn't been fun in years, but I'm still registering it as that was fun. And then I tell my sponsor, I'm like, man, I'm flipping out. Like, I can't imagine forever. And he was like, that is literally why we do the one day at a time thing, or you will break your damn brain thinking about ever. He's like, can you stay sober? He was like, it's 1:00 in the afternoon. Can you stay sober the rest? I'm like, damn right I can stay. He's like, then don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about tomorrow when it comes. And it sounds so cliche, but at that moment, that's what I needed to hear, because it reeled me back in from that forever stuff, you know,
forever.
Yeah,
that's an outcast stuff right there.
Yeah,
baby.
but it blew me away for a minute, man. It rattled me, and I know it's got to rattle other people if your life is built around fun is alcohol, then you freak out when you cannot have alcohol anymore, or you start scheming and planning about when and how you're going to get back to that. And the delusion that I can drink safely ever has got to be just bitch slapped out of me. I can't have that in my head at all. It is not an option. I cannot drink safely. I cannot use safely. And I have to stay in this recovery thing right in the middle, or I'll forget that shit. And I've got a whole history of always forgetting. Getting out of an institution that I'd been in for a long ass time and doing the same shit that got me in the front door of it. because I already forgot that's what caused it. So I have to stay plugged into this thing every single day, or I will forget again, and I'll be doomed to repeat the same thing.
Got that internal and forgetter.
Yeah,
Quick,
for real.
you know? Yeah, you know what's funny? I have conversations like this always. I had a conversation with somebody today, and I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine my life any different than what it was, what it is right now. Like, and somebody was talking to me earlier, and they're like, you're the same Justin, you're just enhanced. And I'm like, I like that. I like enhanced.
Hey, we were all sitting there at your house, happy, laughing, kids playing, watching football without a drink in sight.
Who's watching football?
The cool people.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even know.
Of course you didn't.
I was watching y'all watch football, so it's like picture in picture.
Did you see how happy we were?
Oh my God, it made me happy.
We were so happy. All right, so
Let's read some comments real quick.
yes.
Okay. We got Jess says, I was so incredibly fearful of all the fun going away, too. Little did I know how much more fun life is without alcohol.
Can I just say real quick how nice it is the first time you laugh, like a real, genuine laugh without like anything in your system?
That
like
real belly laugh.
I remember the very first time I did that, and I was like, "Ooh!" Like I hadn't done that, so it was a good feeling,
Yeah.
man. Like it's like the most freeing feeling. I hadn't laughed in a long time without something in my system.
Or being silly, or just
Right.
like, just whatever, man, and just being carefree, too, on a good side. You know what I mean? Not carefree on the bad side, but
I got it.
yeah. We got Helen says alcohol took everything from me. Katie says, Kelly, you are amazing. Thank you. And you're so right. I want to protect my baby from everything, but I have to remember he's 25. Sit, man. Remember,
25 and he's your baby, and it's so hard.
Always our
I
babies.
know how hard it is as a mom. Like you just want to rush in and swoop and rescue, but he's not going to learn anything from that. He just isn't. He's going to have to learn himself, and it's going to take an objective perspective and someone who can talk to him on his level.
So many things are rhyming tonight. Objective perspective.
yo, listen, let it go, man.
I will not.
Let's see. Missy Thang says alcohol is way too advertised and glorified in our society. A drug is a drug is a drug. They all destroy lives and cause health complications, including death. Alcohol is just a slower death with less frequency of overdose and instant death. Alcohol makes it seem like you don't have a problem because it's socially acceptable. You know what I mean? And it's the slow killer, man.
I made it very obvious I had a problem.
Me too, because I didn't.
There was no delusions about me.
Nope.
And again, we're talking to the people who actually cannot drink. People can drink, and we're not, putting down anybody who can have a drink.
Absolutely.
And if there's people on here, because I know we have people that watch to support us that, aren't necessarily in recovery, but we're by no means.
And we don't define what recovery is. If
Right.
you're in recovery from other substances and you have zero problems with alcohol, my hat is off to you. Fantastic. Speaking for myself, that don't work for me.
That don't work for me either. I've tried it all. I have a problem with everything, as I just said. Food, all of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's focusing, man.
Yeah, that worked now.
Let's see. Jessica James says only one kiddos, but this disease scares me enough today that the message has to be spread. We got Kevin says educate. Knowledge is power. My son is 5, and I've been teaching him from the moment he could walk and talk to get into stuff around the house. Let's see. Christina says, I love you, bro. One day at a time. Listen and apply what you hear. Okay, she's talking to somebody. Let's see.
And thank you guys for being supportive to everybody else in the chat. Like we have to remember that this is a community, and the community isn't just us. So talk to each other in the chat, support each other in the chat. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We got Ito says being honest with yourself gets to the root. Anything else continues to breed. Let's see. Marie Lopez says, I weighed 560 pounds at some point and couldn't breathe or walk. So portion control is good. Definitely is good. Let's see. We got Becky says, my grandma couldn't understand that my dad would never be able to have a beer with her. He was sober until he passed. Hell yes. Let's see. We got Jessica. Jessica, good to see you here. She's new here. Welcome to the Hope Shop. We go live every Sunday at 8 p.m. and every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday. Yes. We have
Because
changed
balance
it
is
up.
key.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
is it every other Wednesday now?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know these things.
I didn't know either. Don't feel bad.
Hi, guys. Yes, we
Listen,
had
I'm
to
hoping-
unload the plate a little bit. You know what I
That's
mean?
good though. That's good. Justin, listen, I think that we talk about balance all the time. We have to balance. We can only give what we have to fill our cup up before pouring out. We can only give,
And we talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. And
We
like,
do, and it applies to us too. And I think a lot of times, like it's easy to say and hard to apply. So if you're out there and you, I guess, trying to figure out why it's every other week now, like that is the reason why. And I think that's honorable, Justin. Like, really,
Yeah.
truly.
I get lost in the sauce, man. That's what I call it. I'm like, this year I'm gonna call this lost in the sauce. Because you can, man. It's like you want to keep everything going. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to do all these things. And it's like, man, you honestly can't. Honestly, I can't. I can't move forward all this stuff, everything I'm doing. And I'm just like, whoa, let's step back and like let's rebalance because it's getting out of control. Let's see. Let me read one more. Oh, wait. Just says, I'm not that new. I know Janelle and Caesar and Kelly. Well, hello, I'm Justin. Let's see. Helen said, what does every other week start? So not this Wednesday. The next Wednesday is when it is. So just if you guys want to mark your calendars, and I'll put up an event, and Caesar's going to be hosting it, just to let you know. So. All right. What else we got?
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Janelle. I heard you breathe in.
Yeah.
You're getting
I
ready to
did.
go off.
I have like all the people decided to come downstairs all of a sudden and I get distracted.
dogs-
Literally,
Our dogs are doing that right now.
dogs and kids. I have to get
Yeah.
up every 2 minutes.
I have a cat down here, husband and son over there. But there was a comment I saw about whether or not it was hereditary. I think it was from Becky.
Oh,
It was way early.
Becky. I think it was.
And I always get stuck on that because I remember being in school doing my psych degree and they were like, is it nature versus nurture? And it's like, did you grow up in a house that was like that? Or did you, are you just biologically doomed? Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I think at this point, like kind of my perspective, at this point, we're so exposed to drugs and alcohol through social media, through advertising, just like living in the world that I don't even know if we would ever be able to tell whether it's hereditary or a learned behavior anymore. Maybe like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, we could say, oh yeah, no, that's all hereditary. But now we're kind of screwed no matter what,
I just had a conversation with somebody about this earlier about we have broken people raising broken people. It's the truth. We're just passing down brokenness, and
I'm just trying to make mine a little less broken.
Well, I really truly believe that for me in my family, I'm that chain breaker, and I take great pride in that. And I think a lot of us are. I mean, yes, we're broken people raising broken people, but we have mended that in some ways, right? And the rest of our children and our children's children don't have to be the same way. And it's a powerful freaking thing, and it's a life mission. And I mean, I don't know. I take great pride in that. I hope that I can raise Maya and Emma in ways that they don't have to repeat the same mistakes that generations past have,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what I was saying earlier about looking at both of my kids and being like, oh my God, they're going to be so screwed up because I'm their mom. So obviously it's going to happen. But it was my goal to make them less broken than I was. I didn't grow up with parents that were alcoholics or addicts, but I grew up in New Orleans, which should explain just about everything you need to know. So it was cultural. It was, just the environment that I was in. So I can't blame a family member or anything. But, then I raised my 2 children here in the, where the opioid epidemic began. And it was really kind of scary. Not kind of scary. It was just really scary.
It's scary.
Because it's like, what if one of them gets in a car accident and has to go to pain management or, breaks a leg playing a sport or, any of those things. But
yeah, but I think that's you have experience with that. So them just being open, you know what I mean? That's
what I was going to say. Janelle, you said something really that I agree with a lot earlier from also working in the field and working in prevention before. You're having open and honest conversations and your kids feel comfortable coming to you. That's like huge, right? Like that's what I try to do. And I've tried to speak to my children age appropriate. I mean, and they're different, right? Like Maya's been going to recovery meetings with me since she was 2, and she didn't really comprehend everything that was going on, but she does know that it's okay to ask for help when we have a problem, and a community of people will surround you, and it's, it's okay to have that. It's okay. And I think our parents' generation, and I'm not speaking, my parents, like, to a certain extent, but it was lots of sweep it under the rug. We don't talk about that outside of the house. We keep our problem, like we don't go tell anybody about these sort of problems kind of thing. And that's something else that I'm working really hard to change. And those open, honest conversations are the start of that. And I think you got to give yourself some credit for that. If your kids feel comfortable coming to you, and sharing something, or sharing that they messed up and they know that it's not gonna all be punitive. That's huge.
It's really funny because you saying that reminded me, my son and I were driving somewhere the other day. I can't remember where it was. And we got to talking about one meeting I had taken him to years and years ago. And he was like, oh yeah, no, I definitely don't want to go to those. And I was like, why not? And then I remembered somebody had a seizure in the meeting the night that he was there. And it freaked him out. And he was like, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. The sounds, what it looked like. And I was like, well, cool. Just don't do drugs.
Seizures are crazy. Like, I remember the first time seeing it. I mean, we were jacked up in a Miami hotel room on freaking South Beach. But first time seeing a seizure, and I freaked out. Like, I was high as hell. And I was like,
fortunate. Did you ever? I had them early in recovery, and I had one at a recovery meeting as well in the bathroom. They are scary to have as well.
Yeah. My friend, she used to always get them, and she'd get high and she'd get them. And it was like a normal thing. It was insane. Back in my 20s, I would say 25, if they're not smoking dope or jumping rope, running train, then you know what I mean? Like, I think they're doing okay, because they're 25. They still have to live life, until it becomes a problem. But like me at 25, I was a train wreck already at 25.
And you couldn't tell us nothing.
I knew everything.
I had nothing to learn anymore at 25.
I have a coworker that's 25 and feels like she's behind. And I'm like, girl, this is like incomparable I don't even have words for that where she is at 25 compared to where I was.
Let's sit down and chat for a little bit.
Brother. I'm like, man, I didn't really know there was people that had their lives together like just forever. Like they got out of high school and immediately went to college and then immediately got a job. And I'm like, y'all do that?
Listen, my brother got straight A's, didn't have to try, had a full ride scholarship, was president of his fraternity, straight up got a job his senior year of college at the Federal Reserve, worked his way up. Like, he's never. And then there's me. I mean, and I'm okay now. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty successful now. But like, if you can tell who the easier child was, it's very evident. I got to go make my dog shut up.
Yeah, listen, I was on Facebook. There was a post, and it was about how old were you when you bought your first property? I was like, everybody's put like 21, 22, 26, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. I'm over there like 38. I mean, I'm like, a little behind. I'm like, yes, somebody else is 38. Damn.
I can answer that differently, though. I could be like, oh, yeah, 21. But then at 37, I lost every bit of everything that I ever had before and started off fresh. So I feel like this house was the first property I bought because it's the one that I worked hard for and that I earned and that I'm, totally different perspectives today.
Yeah, let me see.
Hey, can I give a shout out to Missy Thang?
Do
She's
it.
in this chat, just responding to everybody and spreading positivity and giving good remarks. Thank you, Missy. You were the bomb.
She's awesome. I love seeing her here.
Yeah, like I said, please support each other in those comments. This is why we're here, not just for us. Comments aren't just for us. Talk to each other, support each other. It's a community. It's a family.
She's crushing it in there.
You want to hit some of those comments real quick there, Caesar?
Like hit him, like punch him.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't shared this live feed yet, please share this live feed. It helps just support us, and also you never know who might need to hear this, see this, and know that there's help out there.
Oh man, I don't even know where we are on this. I was back like 200 pages reading some of them.
All right, it's cool.
Here, I'll put this up. Kelly likes this. Kelly can read it.
I believe I broke the cycle. My kids are 25 and 27 and have definitely learned from me and their dad's mistakes. We are blessed with a very strong and independent young adults. I love that. I love that. I love the whole concept of cycle breakers in general, like those generational, people call them different things, the generational curses, cycle breakers, chain breakers. I do a lot of spiritual reading, and I read a lot about that, and I think it's a very powerful thing. We can totally break these cycles in our families, or
at least attempt it. You know what I mean?
We can do better. I kind of look at it like I think each, and I'm not talking crap about anything that previous generations did. I think we all do the best we can, right? Like my parents did the best they can, their parents did the best they can. But I think we all try to just do something a little bit better, or maybe be the parent that we needed when we were children, right? Exactly. Like I know we needed more emotional support, and I know, and I did that when I worked in prevention as well. When I was working with either youth that were at risk of getting substance use disorder, they might have already kind of started experimenting. I tried to think about the things that would have made a difference in me. And a lot of it is like socio-emotional coping skills kind of things, learning how to manage my emotions, like a lot of those things. So I don't know. Yeah,
no, and I like that because like I try to be the parent that I wish I had. That's it. Like I try to do the things that I wish I was like, taking the time to hear them out, you know what I mean? And not, sometimes I have to catch myself because I have these deep down things that have been embedded in me, and I want to like do the same exact thing because of my past experiences. I'm literally playing them out in my real life. Like I'm like literally just repeating history, and I'm doing it to my kid. And I'm like, I stop myself and I'm like, whoa, like this is the same shit that I hated when I was a kid that I'm literally doing right the same thing. And I'm like, I have to stop myself sometimes, or Tiffany stops me, whichever one, like
the fact that you realize that is freaking huge, Justin. Like that is huge. We're not just repeating the same stuff that we were taught. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. Like we're comprehending.
Listen, I've turned into my father in a good way though. Like I catch myself saying stuff and I'm like, oh man,
this like
I turned into the 50-year-old version of him now.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
How dare you? So Jessica Fowler says, being sober is hard sometimes, but one day at a time. 8 years still going strong. My son helps me through. He is 5. Aww. Yes, being sober is hard sometimes. You ain't wrong.
It's easier
all the time.
We talk about the fun stuff, but it's not always easy. That's for sure.
It's easier to not be sober. You know what I mean? That's the easy.
I don't know about that. It's easier maybe in the short term.
It's easier for me.
Real hard.
It's easier to me to go to the store and crack one open because I had a hard day instead of sitting in my shit and dealing with what's going on.
I can agree with that.
That's it. That's what I mean.
Life on life's terms.
Life on life's terms. That's what I mean.
medicated than not medicated.
Yes.
But it's she says her son helps her sometimes, and we all have to have things. It's grueling, it's hard. We see people die. We have no other way to cope than with our coping skills. There's no numbing anymore. There's no escapism anymore. We go at things head on, and it's not difficult, but it's super gratifying. It's everything to me to be able to help somebody. I never had anything but pain and suffering to offer the world. And now I have a solution, and I have hope, and I have grace to offer people. And that feels good. It feels good to be able to lay my head down and know that maybe I put a little more good into the world today, because I always took from the world. So being able to give is huge, and it's rewarding. And yeah, we're all tired and wore out, but that's because we're living a full life and being productive and doing something. I don't think I was that tired. I was napping like all the time. I was taking them nod naps constantly. I was never tired. So it's like, I'm tired because I'm making up for lost time and trying to be a good person and trying to even the scales out.
That was always my go-to. That
I was always tired, bro.
I'm tired.
Always.
I work, man. What?
That's my biggest excuse was, oh man, well, I run bars and nightclubs. I'm up all night. Of course I'm tired. My family would be like, tired, like falling asleep in the mashed potatoes tired though? Like you feel extra tired. I'm like,
It's
don't get it.
true. It's so true. It's like once you go, you're go, 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 go. And once the end of the day from doing all, and next thing you know, it hits you like a freaking freight train. Like, that's it.
I don't know about that. I was just nodding out. It could have been the morning, the afternoon,
I was doing drywall and stuff. So, I was
Thanksgiving dinner. It didn't really matter. But I mean, there's some really awesome comments in here tonight, and I appreciate you guys so much. And let me see, where was the one I wanted? That was the one that was read.
It's somewhere in there. I'll tell you that.
There's what?
I said somewhere in there. I'll tell you that.
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I lost it.
What were you looking for? We can find it.
Hold on. What is this? Nope. That's not it.
What's this? Nope. Mm-mm.
No, I don't know. There's one up here about setting boundaries but it's way up there. Friend relapsed and needs to set boundaries to protect their recovery. It's there. I promise you.
Well, I mean, we can touch on boundaries. We don't, Curly, right there.
Boom.
Here we go. Curly has a friend that I went to treatment with who's relapsed bad. How do you set those boundaries so it doesn't affect your recovery? I mean, Janelle's literally a clinician dealing with this. So I feel like Janelle, you should tackle this one. Just saying.
There is nothing wrong with saying to somebody, hey, I love you, I respect you, but I can't have that shit around me. There is nothing wrong with that. And sometimes for me, I would put my red cape on and be like, oh, but I can save this person. I can help this person. And I would put myself at risk. There's nothing wrong with saying there's only so far I'm willing to go to help someone. There's nothing wrong with saying that there's only so much I can do. I have to love you from afar. And many times, unfortunately, that's what we have to say. Sometimes that's the thing that lets people know, hey, if I want to be around this person or able to do these things, I got to get my shit together. Sometimes it's when people get cut off that they're willing to put in the work. We were talking about family members earlier. My mom did that tough love shit on me, saved my life. I wouldn't be here today if she hadn't cut me off. If people didn't refuse to talk to me, I would have no consequences. I had a lot of people that didn't talk to me for almost 2 decades after some of the stuff I did to them. There is nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm worried about you. I love you. I care about you. But you don't have to let them into your house, to your home, anything like that, and put yourself at risk. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I can't stress that enough. Don't feel guilty about not running and trying to help someone every time they've gotten themselves in a bad spot.
I agree. Meet them at a meeting if you want to. If they want to see you, they can see you at a meeting in a place that's safe. And
a safe space.
That part.
That's what I was always told is, because you go through 5 or 6 rehabs and you meet some rehab friends. But when I was on the right track, I'll meet you at a meeting, no problem. But I'm taking my ride and I will see you there. And I'm not getting in your car because I don't want to put myself in a position where A, I can relapse, B, that I can be arrested when I'm trying to do the right thing. I don't want to be in somebody's car that I don't know that if they're doing the right thing. But you can still be helpful and caring and loving by saying, I would love to see you. Can you meet me at a meeting? And then you're providing help by giving them the nudge to go to the meeting. If that's not their agenda, then, Janelle put it best. I have to love you from a distance. I can't really get involved. I'm on this path and you're on this path. If you'd like to meet me over here, fantastic. If not, I have to protect my recovery.
Yeah, because once you run out of options, man, you have to do something, and that's something that like a lot of people did for me. But also on the flip side, getting into recovery, man, I had to cut off a lot of friends that I used to have. Like everything has to change, it's talking about those boundaries and stuff, and it's funny because now that like coming back into this, there's a lot of people that are like getting like the people I used to hang out with, man, they're changing and they've straightened up their lives. So now we became friends again. But a lot of people don't understand that too as you're going through it. So, that's on the flip side.
And one more thing is we're not responsible when other people are messing up. Sometimes we are like, man, if I had just called, if I had said this, if I had done that, if I had just gone and picked them up, maybe they wouldn't have gone to jail or worse, and that's something that I see a lot. We've lost a lot of people, particularly over the past year. And I see people that just really take too much responsibility for what happens. And sometimes that takes them back out there and using.
That's interesting. We had a loss this week and I had another loss. We've had a lot of loss, let me say that, but we've had 2 very close people. One I lost in 2017, and that was that's the one thing. And I don't know whether it was just so embedded in me that like we do what we can do, but I never felt like it was my fault. I did go to if I would have done this, and I think it's like a natural place for our brain to go, but we can't let it go too deep in that. And I mean, we lost, I don't know if you went there at all this week. I mean, but it's hard not to. We have to be very careful with that. Really, really careful with that. Especially, I mean, I don't know. We give a lot of ourselves. Most people in recovery do that are doing the right thing. And we can't do it for them, and we can't, and we do the best we can while protecting our own recovery and our own sanity. And that's, it's hard. It's very, very hard.
Yeah. That's the survivor's guilt. I mean, my survivor's guilt. Yeah. My survivor's guilt is what led me to the career that I have. I literally propelled myself into that career so I could save people because there was that one person I couldn't save, so. But I also, even though I still what if myself, on cases that I've had or people that I know on a personal level that have passed a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, I try not to feel guilty for it. Am I perfect at it? No. But do I have to like constantly remind myself I'm not responsible for this? I feel like I've done everything that I can. That's what drives me every day, not just at work, but outside of there, just give everything that I can without giving too much of myself or trying to pour from an empty cup so that I can feel comfortable in that what if conversation when it happens with myself.
And that can drive you crazy if the boundary isn't, or you know what I mean? Like it's nobody's perfect at it. It's something that you kind of learn to not master, but get better at over time.
Master is definitely not the right word.
Not.
Every one of these losses, of course I question myself. I'm human, I'm gonna, should I have called? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? But I know deep down that there's nothing I can do. I've done what I can, but it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier at all. I talked to somebody on the phone, and one of the first things they said, "Oh, I remember when they told me we'd step over the bodies." And I'm like, "Yeah, they told us that. That doesn't make it any easier to step over the bodies." It's
a saying that they say in a lot of recovery spaces. For those of you, like, the longer you're in recovery, the more bodies you step over. Just for those of you who don't.
Yeah, but
unless you're cold-hearted.
Yeah, but I mean, like, these are human beings. These are friends. These are people that were close
This
with
is
our
family.
family.
This is family that we lost this week. This is legitimately family.
Yeah, and it's tough, but it's honestly a reminder. And this goes for drugs, alcohol, and mental health, that you have to take care of yourself. The guy that we're talking about was a giver, and all he did was give to other people, and he did not take care of himself at all. He put himself last. And, it's a reminder that we have to take care of ourselves, or we're not going to be any good to anybody. And, it's hard to talk about it.
Yeah. It's still raw.
Yeah, it was a tough one, but, there's a lesson in everything. And, there's a reminder in everything. And everybody on this screen is extremely busy. We cannot forget to take care of ourselves. We cannot forget to do that self-care, stay connected, do what we can, not get lost in helping others so much that we don't help ourselves. If my recovery is not first, I'm going to be screwed. Like, I can't transmit something that I don't have. So I've got to fill my cup up every day, whether it's mind, body, and spirit. I have to take care of those three things every day in some form or another. And mind, body, and spirit is like, don't forget to eat.
I know.
Like, that's your body. Don't get so busy that you forget to eat. Don't forget to do something for your recovery. Don't forget to do something for your spirit. Whatever that looks like to each person is different, but I have to do something for myself every day. And I used to think it was so selfish, like, to take time for myself to do things. It's not selfish, because I'm useless to everybody else if I don't take care of myself.
Yeah, Helen says.
Yeah. He constantly gave to everyone. He forgot about himself. Yes, Helen, he did.
And that's one thing. That's why, like, we have to make sure that we're aware of this, because we can do it without even noticing. Like that's why I did every other Wednesday, and that's why I'm trying to, like, slow down a little bit, because like I'm losing myself too. Like, and it happens, and sometimes you don't even know it. Lost in the sauce. That's why I call it like that. You know what I mean? We get lost. We get lost in the day to day, and the hustle and the bustle and the this that, and totally depleting ourselves. And we're the last one to know. Just like when we were high out there, we're the last ones to know how fucked up we were. It's
Sorry,
true.
I just put this one up because I think this is an important, quick topic to touch on. I know we're running out of time here, but it says, do you think police and medical staff have become numb to this crisis in the areas where ODs are constantly occurring? So, Christine, there's something that, yes, let me just say yes. I think it's hard, right? It's hard dealing with this day in and day out. And there's a thing called compassion fatigue. I mean, when you're consistently going through this day in and day out, there's no way to not. It's like self-preservation, right? Like, you see it so much. So, I mean, yes. And it's hard. I don't think there's a way for them not to just become numb, but it's the same thing for them. They have to be able to take care of themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can imagine, and it's almost like you have to become numb to the fact in order to do your job and not break down. Yeah,
it's something that I'm still kind of working towards. Like, every time somebody else passes, like, I still allow myself to emote, but I get back up quicker almost every time. And sometimes I scare myself how quickly I go back to normal. Like, I mean, and this was a tough loss this week. And we took it, even, Caesar, a couple hours at the end of the day, and went back to work the next day. But I don't know. It's a little scary sometimes how quickly I can bounce back. I need to make sure, and I'm speaking for myself, I need to make sure that I'm sitting and processing my emotions. You know, I have a therapy appointment this week to kind of talk through some things, but man, I'm bouncing back fast lately, and that almost scares me just as much.
I have to comment on that because that conversation's been coming up at my job so often the past couple of years, because we've lost clients, we've lost people that we, you know, love and care in our personal lives too, because many of us are in recovery. And I also have noticed, I've been doing this work for 15 years and I have become quite desensitized to it. It's not that I'm not compassionate or empathetic towards it. It's I bounce back quicker. And I was talking with some of my newer clinicians about it. And they were like, it just seems like you're so cold. And I'm like, it's the same thing as emergency room doctors. They have to be able to function. And in order for them to function, they have to become somewhat desensitized to it. Would I love to wake up tomorrow and find out that overnight addiction and mental health were completely cured and I could retire? Yeah, I would love to go in and fire my whole staff. It's not realistic though. So those of us that are surrounded by this have to be desensitized in order for us to function. Your light still shines super bright. I don't care what you're going through. And that's directed right at you, Kel.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. Some days it's depleting and I don't know. There's a fire in me and like I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of meditating and I try to remember why career-wise, personal-wise, whatever, like I try to go back to that fire that burns within to remember to fan that flame and why I do what I do, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's a why in there. There's a why, and that why is something I consistently go back to, but just some days are harder than others. Some weeks are harder than others. I mean,
yeah. That's why I haven't been jumping on as much because there's every time I think my job's going to calm down, like some other shit goes on. And I happened to just sit in a group for like 10 minutes the other day. And this one young man said some shit and I walked out of there smiling. I was so stressed out all day. And what that one man said in one sentence, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Aww. So sometimes if I'm so stuck in my stress and in my chaos and in my mess that goes on in my head, I miss shit that, you know, my higher power, whatever, sends to me to remind me why I do what I do and why I am who I am.
Yes.
We can miss the signs, man.
Yes.
We can miss the signs if we're so, you know.
Yep. And that's why they call me Sparkle Farts.
Yes. I was just looking at your name. I'm like, that's exactly, you know, it's just so well. See, you're just really good at this stuff.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Name's the only name on our screen. I need Chakra Khan to be up there too. Did you make that one up? You made that one up.
Yes, he did.
Well, people only recognize me by Sparkle Farts now. When we were at the recovery walk, legit 3 times I got called Sparkle Farts.
That's amazing.
Not Janelle, Sparkle Farts.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And you loved it, right?
I was honored. Yeah. I was so honored. I loved
it. Official, people. It's official. Yeah. Oh man, yo, tonight's been good, man. Even without a topic going in this, I kind of liked
it this way. I felt very comfortable talking and interacting this way. This is more my speed.
I like it too. Let's just keep going on with this kind of deal, you know. And you know, this is what we're doing. Yeah, I like it.
Me too. Yeah, like a radio show, not like a recovery meeting, technically.
Yeah.
Oh, Becky said, I'd love for you to be my counselor.
Aww.
Good stuff tonight. Thank you guys for being here, being in the comments. Thank you all for supporting one another, supporting us, just always showing up, man. We do appreciate y'all, man. I hope you guys got something out of this tonight. And we won't be here this Wednesday, but we'll be here next Sunday and the Wednesday after that. So it's a little weird to say that, you know. It's like
okay, take care of yourself, Justin. We all need to do it.
Yeah, I got a lot of new things. I got a lot of things going on right now, a lot of moving parts.
You always got a lot of things going on.
But it's all good. It's all
Oh,
good.
I know. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean you
Yeah.
always got a lot going on.
I do. And then sometimes I can make my life unmanageable all by my lonesome. But I'm not doing it this moment. I am literally just refocusing, and it's I feel like I'm on the right track, and everything's going good, man. Everything's good. I feel like, you know, when like you unload some shit from your
Feel
life,
lighter.
you feel lighter and you feel fluffier. Sparkle farty-ish, you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, hey man, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Love y'all. I hope you have an excellent week, especially y'all on the screen too, and y'all in the comments. Love y'all. See ya. Good night.
Bye, everybody.